Have you ever gotten that feeling like someone's trying to hide something? Like there's something important going on, but they're keeping it all hush-hush?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Happens all the time.
Well, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting with this whole situation with the Trump administration and these migrant flights.
Those flights were definitely controversial. Lots of legal challenges and public outcry.
Right. And now the way they're using this state secrets privilege
Mm,
to avoid giving up information about what happened, it just seems like they're trying to sweep something under the rug.
yeah.
And that's what we're diving into today.
Makes sense. Transparency is a big deal. When the government starts claiming secrets to avoid scrutiny, it raises a ton of red flags. People deserve to know what's going on, especially when it comes to something as sensitive as immigration and the treatment of migrants.
Exactly. And that's why we're going to try to break it all down today. We'll be looking at some analysis from the Ring of Fire on YouTube to see if we can make sense of this whole state secrets situation. So for you listening, get ready for a deep dive into the legal wrangling and the big questions about government transparency.
Yeah. What we really want to understand is this a legitimate use of state secrets privilege? Or is it something else entirely?
Right. Let's start with the basics. We know a judge issued an order regarding these flights.
Mhm.
What exactly did Judge James Boosberg say needed to happen?
Judge Boosberg was very clear. He ordered these migrant flights to be turned around, plain and simple.
Turned around, like mid-flight?
Yep, essentially. He wanted those planes rerouted and the people on board to be, returned.
Wow, so that must have caused quite a stir in the Trump administration.
It did. And that's where the state secrets privilege comes in. They basically said, nope, we can't give you any info about these flights because it's a matter of national security.
State secrets, huh? Sounds serious. But what exactly are they claiming is so secret that they can ignore a judge's order?
Well, they're being pretty vague about the specifics, which is kind of suspicious in itself.
Okay, so what? They're saying everything's a secret? Come on.
Pretty much. They're claiming the departure times of the flights, where they were when the judge issued the order, what was happening on board, who was even on the flights. All of it's top secret. Can't tell you.
Hold on, even who was on board? I mean, how can that be a state secret? Don't they tell the families?
That's a good question. And it gets even more complicated when you look at the timing of everything. This is where things get really interesting.
Okay, lay it on me. What's the timeline here?
So Judge Boosberg, he issues a verbal order at around 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time on March 15th.
A verbal order, so like not even a written thing, just him saying it.
Exactly. But here's the thing. A judge's verbal order, especially in court, is still a legal order. It has to be followed, even before it's written down.
Interesting. So what did this verbal order say?
He basically said any plane with these people that was either taking off or already in the air, turn it around.
Okay, so a clear directive. Got it. What happened next?
About 40 minutes later, at 7:27 p.m., he issued a written order. Same day, just solidifying things on paper.
So two orders. One verbal, one written, both on March 15th. What's the administration saying about all this?
Well, they claim they complied with the written order. They say by the time the written order came through, the planes had already landed, so we couldn't turn them around.
Hold on a second. Are they seriously trying to say that the verbal order doesn't count? The one they received while those planes were still in the air?
That's the impression they're giving. They're fixated on that later timestamp, the written order, even though they had a legal obligation to act as soon as that verbal order was given.
That's pretty convenient. Sounds like they're playing with the timeline to make themselves look better. But if this state secrets thing is so important, you'd think they'd have invoked it right away, wouldn't you?
You'd think so, right? But here's another twist. They didn't claim state secrets until 8 or 9 days later, around March 25th.
Wait a minute, so they wait almost a week and a half to say, oh, sorry, this is all top secret. If it was really that critical to national security, wouldn't they have shouted it from the rooftops the moment the judge gave the order?
Exactly. And that delay makes their whole argument seem kind of weak. Like, if it was truly such a sensitive issue, wouldn't they have jumped on that state secrets claim immediately? The timing just doesn't add up.
It really makes you wonder what their game is. Our source, the Ring of Fire, actually suggests that maybe, just maybe, the whole state secrets thing is a smokescreen.
It does make you think, what are they really trying to hide here? The source suggests that maybe they're trying to avoid embarrassment, maybe even conceal actions that would show they don't care about the law or a judge's orders.
Which, let's face it, wouldn't be that surprising given some of their past actions.
True. And there's even an allegation that some administration officials were saying they didn't care about the judge's orders.
Wow. That's pretty damning if it's true. So they're possibly using state secrets to cover their own tracks.
Potentially. It's like they're saying, we can't tell you what we did because it's too secret, but trust us, we were totally justified.
Not very reassuring. But I'm sure the lawyers who are fighting those migrant flights in the first place aren't just going to sit back and let this stand, are they?
Not a chance. The source says they're likely going to challenge this whole state secrets claim in court. They want to get to the bottom of this just as much as we do.
Which makes perfect sense. It's not every day the government gets to just slap a state secrets label on something and call it a day. And there's this other point that the source makes, right, about a potential contradiction in the administration's position. It's like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too.
Ah, yes. You're talking about the whole thing with the justification for the flights in the first place. They were claiming these flights were necessary because of the people on board saying they were gang members or dangerous individuals.
Exactly. So if these people are supposedly such big, scary threats, wouldn't the public have a right to know?
That's the argument, isn't it?
Huh.
The source is saying if these individuals were truly dangerous, wouldn't transparency actually be better? To show they're taking action to protect national security?
Right. It's like you can't say these people are super dangerous and then also say, oh, but we can't tell you anything about them because it's a secret. It just doesn't add up.
Exactly. It makes their whole stories seem shaky. Like, which is it? Are these people a genuine threat, or are you just using that as an excuse to do whatever you want?
Right. If they were truly confident in their actions and their justifications, you'd think they'd be more open about it. Hiding behind state secrets only makes it look like they're trying to cover something up.
And this whole issue highlights a bigger question, about the balance of power in government. The judiciary says, turn the planes around. The executive branch says, nope, state secrets. It's a standoff between different branches of government. And it raises questions about who gets to decide what information is truly secret and when that secrecy is justified.
So for everyone listening, let's rewind for a second. A judge gives a direct order, the administration seems to ignore part of it, and then after a long delay, they claim state secrets to keep everything under wraps. The timeline's fuzzy, their justifications are shaky, and they're trying to have it both ways with the whole dangerous individuals thing.
Exactly. It's a tangled web, and the more you look at it, the less sense it makes.
As you've been listening, what stood out to you the most? Was it the initial response to the judge's order, or that delay in claiming state secrets? Was it the specific info they're trying to keep quiet? Or maybe the possible reasons behind all of this?
And here's something else for you to think about. That delay, that week and a half before they claimed state secrets, how does that change things? Does it make you question whether it was really about national security?
It's a big question, right? Because if they can just wait that long and then throw out the state secrets card, what's to stop them from doing it in any situation where they want to avoid scrutiny?
Exactly. If we let them get away with this, what does it say about the balance of power between the branches of government? What does it say about transparency and accountability?
And ultimately, that's what this all boils down to. Who has the power? Who gets to decide what we know? And what are the consequences when those in power choose secrecy over transparency?
Those are the questions we all need to be asking ourselves because the answers affect all of us. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next time.